Yo, what's good guys, I'm JB Hoops, and today I got a video breaking down the game of a potential top 10 pick in this year's draft, that being Tari Eason, the 6'8 sophomore out of LSU. This season at LSU, Tari Eason came off the bench and won SEC Sixth Man of the Year. He only played 24 minutes a game, and in those minutes was amazing. He put up 16.9 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1 assist per game, along with almost 2 steals and over a block on the defensive end, shooting 52% from the field, 36% from deep, and over 80% from the line. So the first thing I want to talk about with Tari Eason is his defensive versatility. I think his defense is one of his most intriguing aspects of his game, and he's probably one of the most impactful and versatile defenders in this class. He's a very good on-ball defender who moves well laterally and has active hands. He's constantly reaching in and looking to strip his opponent, and he's excellent at turning defense into offense with fast break points. And just generally, he uses his length, athleticism, and strength really well. I've seen some places list his wingspan at 6'9", and others as high as 7'2", but I'm pretty confident just by looking at him he has a 7-foot plus wingspan, and that definitely helps him on that end. Tari Eason is excellent in passing lanes and really good at just stripping his defender, and averaged almost 2 steals a game on the season. But whilst he's a great on-ball defender, he's also an excellent off-ball defender. He's a great communicator on the defensive end with a high IQ. He just knows when to switch, he's super alert on back cuts and play actions, and he's also a very solid help side rim protector. In my opinion, Tari Eason is one of the best defenders in the class, with his mix of athleticism, strength, skill, and IQ, and I think he'll make an impact on that end right away in the league. The issue with his playstyle on the defensive end, being super aggressive and physical, is that he is very foul prone, averaging almost 3 fouls a game. He fouled out in 6 games this season, and there were many others where his minutes were heavily restricted due to foul trouble. I think whilst he has all the skill, athleticism, and length to be a great defender, he is still a little bit raw and just undisciplined on defense. He's super aggressive going in for reaches and being a really physical defender on the ball, which will just lead to some pretty bad fouls. And he also just picked up a few dumb fouls, a fair bit more often than you'd like to see. But in terms of defensive talent and skill set, he is one of the best guys in this class. Next up, I'm going to talk about his finishing. Tari Eason is a great finisher at the basket, especially with his right hand. He's 6'8", 216, and just plays way bigger than that on both ends of the floor. He uses his strength, athleticism, and handle to break defenders down, explode past them, and attack the basket. He's really physical and aggressive on both sides as well, but he also has pretty soft touch around the basket, so he can pull back on his aggressiveness and put up a floater over shot blockers. And his soft touch is also reflected by his 80% free throw shooting, so that's why I love him so much as a prospect. But with his strong frame, he can also bully guys down low, get to the rim, and carve out positioning on the offensive rebounds. But Tari Eason is also a very smart cutter, so can get a lot of easy points via cuts. His finishing ability is a massive part of his game, but his ability to go to his left hand is lacking quite significantly. He sometimes just refuses to go to it, driving left and then just backing out and going right, and then if he's shut off there, just going right again and forcing it. So that's something he'll definitely need to improve, but I'm not too concerned about it with how much skill he has and the athleticism and strength he has. Tari Eason's self-creation and ISO scoring ability is what I think separates him from a lot of the other forwards in this class. He has an excellent handle for a guy his size, a handle as good if not better than Paolo Banchero. He has a variety of moves and counters, he's 6'8", strong and athletic, and is capable of breaking defenders down off the bounce, attacking the basket, and creating openings to get a shot off or create for his teammates. He has a pretty deep bag, he's shown a few crosses behind the back, step backs, and just has a plethora of moves in general. I think his handle is a massive part of his shot creation potential, and with his athleticism and burst, I don't think getting to his spots will be an issue, it'll be more about just hitting the shots. So Tari Eason's handle I think is amazing, and it's just a part of his game that he excels at that just gives him a massive edge over other prospects that can't handle like he can. Now moving on from that, I want to talk about his shooting. Tari Eason shot a very solid 36% from 3 this season, but I am a little bit concerned with his form, and I'm not sure he will be the most consistent shooter in the league. His form is a little bit funky, he has a kind of low release and a weird load up, and it just leads to some inconsistencies with his jumper, so I'm not sure how sustainable the 36% from deep will be, but I am pretty confident in him being at least respectable from there, given his soft touch and 80% from the line. But I think it's part of his game that might need some extra time to come along. Now the final aspect of Tari Eason's game I'm going to talk about today is his playmaking ability. He's a solid passer with pretty good vision. Over the course of the season, he threw a couple of really impressive passes, but he only ended up averaging 1 assist per game. So whilst I don't think it's going to be a major part of his game, he's definitely capable of passing the ball to where it needs to be and making some pretty nice passes. But in saying that, he definitely has a lot of room to improve as a passer, ball handler, and decision maker in general. He has a tendency to over dribble, he sometimes gets tunnel vision and just tends to force the issue too much, which often leads to unforced and unneeded turnovers, which is reflected by his 2.2 turnover average per game. But his passing itself is pretty solid. He can find cutters, kick to shooters, and just do everything you'd expect. But given his athleticism, slashing ability, and excellent shot creation potential, if he can become more secure with the ball and get better at finding his teammates, he's going to be a monster on offense as well as on defense. Tari Eason is a guy that has climbed up big boards dramatically over the course of the season, and now as well into the off season. On my most recent draft board, I think I had him at 11, but he is a guy that I think will continue to rise, looking into his game so much further with this video. He just never fails to impress me. His defense, versatility, slashing ability, and shot creation potential with his super tough handle. He's a guy I think is pretty much a lock to be a lottery pick at this point. And at this point I'm getting to the range where I'm comparing him and Keegan Murray. And Tari Eason right now is looking to have a pretty solid case. So I can see myself moving him definitely into that top 10, maybe around 7 or 8 by my big board 4.0. That's all I got for this one. Let me know what you think of Tari Eason. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Turn nerdies on. JB Hoops.